Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies, and today's video I will be painting up one of the risen foot soldiers from the new Rivenstone game by Anvil Miniatures. They are the sponsors of today's video, so thank you very much Anvil Miniatures, thank you very much Rivenstone for sponsoring this video, supporting me and supporting the channel. Let's get to painting. So, for those of you who do not know, today's video is based around a new game coming out via Kickstarter called Rivenstone. My first introduction to Rivenstone was actually at Adepticon, once all of the YouTubers who were there started posting all their videos and their images on their social medias about what they were doing there. And Rivenstone demos kept appearing over and over again. This beautiful demo board they did, all bright and vibrant, lots of white stone, lots of really rich green grass, pink trees. I was in love with that table and I immediately wanted to know more. I then started doing some research on what the game was, how it was going to be coming out, and I patiently waited for their Kickstarter to go live, and once it did, I jumped on board. Then all of the videos started to show of other people getting their demo copies of the game and making their content around it, and the pang of jealousy was deep in my heart. But to my absolute surprise, an email popped into my inbox from none other than Rivenstone themselves, who want me to participate in their Kickstarter and to highlight their upcoming game. I was beyond excited to participate in this and jumped at the opportunity. It was a little bit late into the campaign, so as I am filming and recording this video, there is 25 hours left in the Kickstarter. These delays caused by certain shipping companies, which will remain nameless, means that I'm trying to cram the entire creation of this video into a single day, which has put a lot of pressure on me, but I'm going to give it a go nonetheless. I hope you guys do in fact enjoy this video. I promise you I put my heart, sweat and tears into this, so I hope you enjoy the video. So a little background on the miniature that I'm painting here today. Like I said, it is a risen foot soldier, but what is a risen foot soldier? The standard risen soldier enters battle wearing rotten chainmail, wielding chipped blades, and firing splintered arrows at their foes. Despite the ravage of time, the risen's weapons of war are just as effective today as when they first fell hundreds of years ago. The risen are far more than just the undead faction though. The exiled prince and the commanding necromancers that serve him have been forced to make strange alliances over the many years in order to protect their people. Any sane moral or animal would have nothing to do with the risen, so the undead have found themselves scouring the darker corners of the world for allies in their great quest. These allies include entities from other realms of existence, such as demons or brutal creatures that the Rivenstone bewitch to serve them. Wolves and dire wolves in particular are creatures that undead often ensorcel to serve in their warbands as shock troops. Of all the factions in Rivenstone, the Risens are undoubtedly the masters of spellcasting. It was by magic that their entire faction came into existence, and it is with magic that they continue to survive. The Shattered Empire and Iron Guard may seek Rivenstone ore for more selfish and material reasons, but the Risen seek it as a means of survival. So let's talk a little bit about what Rivenstone the game actually is. Rivenstone isn't just a game, it's an introduction to a fantastic new world, one that will be expanded upon with loads of lore and fiction as well as long-term support for the game. Rivenstone is an alternating activation skirmish-style wargame. The rules are easy to understand and play, with loads of strategic depth to explore and experience on the tabletop. Rivenstone miniatures are expertly crafted to provide models that are both beautiful and approachable by painters of all skill levels. Miniatures are produced in Siocast Hard, a fantastic material that holds ultra crisp detail and produces extremely durable miniatures. So that's all the information that Rivenstone provided to me to share with you guys in the video. On to my personal opinion on what Rivenstone is, and why I like it, and what I think the future of it will be. So first of all, the miniatures. I think the miniatures for Rivenstone are genuinely, absolutely beautiful. The Risen faction, as in the Undead faction, and the Dwarf faction are the two that jumped off the screen at me the first time I seen them. the undead, obviously because I'm a huge undead fan in many other game systems, but the aesthetic of these ones stood out more than most. I do absolutely adore the bright colours that they go for with their painting schemes. When I began the process of painting up this miniature, for instance, I started taking out all of my old tans and my browns and my dark yellows, the colours that I normally associate with painting up an undead miniature. Something that's a little bit more drab and more kind of from a graveyard style thing. But I immediately stopped myself, remembering that this game is based in this new world, and if you look at any of the promotional pictures or artwork provided by Rivenstone on their Instagram or on their blog posts and stuff on the website, everything is an explosion of colour. And I saw this as an opportunity to run with that. So instead of doing browns or anything like that with the cloak and the hood of this, I decided to delve deep into my favorite color and use orange. Obviously here at the stage of painting I am now, as you can see, it is still quite a drab, dark orange, but I promise you later on in the video it will explode. As for the lore and background of the game, what little lore that I have keened so far, I think is a very interesting concept. A world that destroys itself for natural resources. Time goes past, warbands then march out onto the world and are now once again greedily trying to collect up that raw resource, which is of course Rivenstone, which is what the objective of the game is. When you play a game, you are trying to collect Rivenstone and stop your opponent from collecting Rivenstone. Those beautiful pink crystals that you see in the promotional artwork, and of course our physical pieces on the tabletop as well. I like that the game is starting off with 6 broad factions. Like I said, the favorites for me are the undead and the dwarves. The reason the dwarves jumped out to me, apart from any of the crazy contraptions, it was of course the drill, which is what I thought it was originally, which was more like a burrowing drill that the dwarves climb out of and basically begin the fight. After which I learned these are actually extendable arms which come out from basically giant dwarven submarine drill machines. That's how the dwarf faction travels around the world. And then these big piston kind of elevator shafts get drilled out from the body of that thing. They pierce into ore veins or out onto the surface. And then the dwarf excavators go out, collect their ore and fight off any other warbands in the area. Like I said, once I seen the promotional stuff that poured out of Adepticon and the aesthetic of this game, I was drawn to it. And I can tell you now, about halfway through the process of painting this miniature, it is an absolute delight. Something about the almost cartoonish nature of some of the miniatures. I think too many miniatures games these days focus on the grim and the dark, and it's kind of a refreshing change of pace to go with something that's a little bit brighter, a little bit more colorful, and a little bit more fun to paint. Even though I am painting an undead warrior, it doesn't feel quite so terrifying. Like I said earlier in the video, it's now time to brighten up the orange. I was quite nervous at this point to start layering up such a bright orange on a model that's, like I said, my brain tells me should be quite drab and dark. But I decided to be brave and continue on and layer up all of the cloth and material on this miniature with the bright orange. Honestly, I didn't have time to second guess myself, as at the time of editing this video, the package that this model arrived today at about 12 o'clock, and it's now 10 to 7. So I've been working pretty much non-stop on this miniature and this video since that package arrived. Which was a thought that I had when I started doing the orange, or started conceiving doing the orange, was I don't have time to fix this if I do something wrong. Do I really want to go with bright orange? But then once again I decided to be brave, follow through with the Rivenstone aesthetic of the bright and vibrant colors. I guess for me, The only downside to Rivenstone reaching out and sending me one of these miniatures to paint is now I have a taste for it, and unfortunately I'm going to have to wait until the Kickstarter is fulfilled and shipped to my front door before I can sink my teeth into more of these fantastic miniatures. The love-hate relationship I have with Kickstarter. As it stands right now, the Kickstarter is of course fully backed. It has been an incredibly successful Kickstarter with many stretch goals already unlocked. So anyone that jumps in on the Kickstarter as of now are guaranteed a bunch of fun extra bits and pieces. Another thing I enjoy about Rivenstone is even though it is a skirmish game, you do actually get quite a number of miniatures on the table. With warbands ranging from between 8 and 15 miniatures, means you will still get to have a nice selection of miniatures to build and paint, doing various things on the tabletop. So this for me is a huge plus. Any game which requires me to only have kind of 2 or 3 miniatures or 4 or 5 miniatures even, generally doesn't sate my painting needs. I'm usually left wanting more. And for all those people watching this video who are already backers of Rivenstone, you've already joined the Kickstarter fully. Which faction or factions did you go for and why? And what are you most looking forward to about this game? I'm just now going into the final detail of the miniature, which I'm going to give him some glow, kind of ethereal style eyes. So I just add some white into its pupil. And then I grabbed one of my green intensity inks and I threw a little green coat over the eyes. I am super pleased with how the miniature turned out. Like I said, I got super nervous when I decided to go through with the orange, but now that I'm here, I'm super delighted, and I'm super delighted and pleased that Rivenstone has given me the opportunity to paint up this miniature and to promote their fantastic new game. And with that last brush stroke, my risen foot soldier is complete. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure you hit that like button below. If you have any questions about what I did or any questions you think I might be able to answer about the new Rivenstone game, please don't hesitate to put them in the comments below. I will get back to each and every one of you with whatever information I can deliver. The algorithm also tells me that only about 25% of the people who watch my videos are subscribed, so it would mean the world to me if you hit that subscribe button and then boop the bell to be notified about all future videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. Well, there we have it. One risen foot soldier painted in a lot brighter tones than I normally would paint an undead miniature to, as befitting the setting that Rivenstone is creating. I hope you guys enjoyed the videos. If you're interested in Rivenstone itself, there will be links to all the Kickstarters below. Just be aware at the recording of this video, there is 25 hours left in the Kickstarter, so if it is something that genuinely interests you, please do not delay on checking it out below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.